Okay, you guys. Making sure that we're good. Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Lillian coming with another video. We need to hurry up before the sun goes down while we still have enough sunlight and it's not, you know how it is. The sun is going down sooner. Okay. That's why I've been doing pre-recorded like on my phone, but I don't know, when I edit it I ain't like it. Anyway, today we are talking about 32 cheat codes to life that I wish I had sooner. So I did the video like 29 life lessons or something like that, so I wanted to update it now that I'm turning 32. Maybe I have a different perspective, probably not, but I just want to update it, okay? This is my birthday week. I will be turning 32. And y'all, I have not been taking it lightly. I'm going to be honest. Since I turned 29, going to 30, 31, and now we're going into 32, like, you know, heavy is the head that wears the crown, okay? So it's just like, a lot of things that has happened in my life, I just feel like I have a different perspective from when I first started, doing YouTube or just like growing up or whatever. It's just a lot, you guys. And so I just want to share it. Something that I've really been getting into, and this is going to be number one. I am going to try to number these. And since 32 is such a long, like that's a lot. I just thought about it. You know how you like, oh, this is a great idea. Then you like, actually, that's 32 life lessons. So we got to make this quick, right? Boom. Hold on. So number one, you can't control everything. You know what I mean? I like to think of myself as a type A decimal B personality type. I am on top of things, and it really bothers me when things don't go according to plan, because I'm always planning. I'm always strategizing. I'm always trying to figure out my next move. And when things don't happen the way I anticipated, I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to, I don't know what to do with that. You know what I mean? Because it was supposed to go according to the plan. It always goes according to the plan. But when things don't happen that way, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean no? What do you mean this? What do you mean that? Like, no, it was supposed to, I don't plan for things not to happen the way I anticipated, because I'm used to things happening the way I anticipated. But the moment that doesn't happen, I'm just like, what is that? What is that? So that's something I'm still learning within myself, that things don't always have to go according to the plan. However, if you don't plan, right, you are planning to fail, right? Because you have to have, I'm thinking of my plans as like rough drafts. You know what I mean? Like, life happens, things happen, and you kind of have to roll with the punches and different things of that nature. You can't automatically be like, oh, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, eliminate P, da, 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 da. But it's just like, sometimes things do not, like, you get those curveballs, you get those, things that happen, and you, like, it's an unknown, right? And you kind of have to roll with that. That's something I'm learning. I wish I could be better at that, but your girl, we're working on it. But that is like the number one thing. The next one, let me see if I can type it in here. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I can do this. If not, because I thought about, like, dang, that's 32 times we got to do this. Anyway, the next one is growth is uncomfortable, but also growth is not always loud. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like when we think of growth, we feel like we have to tell everybody what we're going through and everything like that. But it's just kind of like, it's a personal thing. Like, your growth is personal. You don't have to always share it, and you don't always have to be out in center stage and different things of that nature. Like, it's okay to do your growth, behind the scenes. The other part, though, is a personal journey. So everybody is not going to understand it. You might be alienated. You might not be understood. Like, people might not understand what it is that you're trying to do, or why you feel so uncomfortable, because they're used to whatever it is. Like, they're used to the norm, but you're trying to do something different with your life. You're trying to move in a different direction, and they don't understand why you just can't let bygones be bygones, or why you can't play along to get along, and why you can't. No, you just can't do that. That's not a part of your thing. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like, your growth is your growth. It's your thing. Everybody's not going to understand it. You know, you have to be prepared. The next one is failure is data. Okay, now I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe in failing, right? But it's just kind of like growing up, like I always had to be on. You know what I mean? So failing, like feeling like a failure in life, feeling like there are things that are left undone. I don't like that. I like for everything to get done. I like for everything to get ticked off of the to-do list. Like I like for everything to get done. I don't like having to circle back. I hate that. I hate circling back. All right. And we're in number 3. I'm not gonna worry about the numbers, y'all. I'm not gonna worry about the numbers, but like I don't like circling back. I don't like once I do it, I'm done. I'm moving on to the next thing. I don't like circling back, right? So failing for me feels a little bit more personal because it's like there's something within myself that I didn't do, and it just makes me feel like so bad when I don't get something right, or when I don't, you know, achieve what I feel like I'm supposed to achieve, or I just like it really, really hurts my feelings because I really like to win. Like I'm a very competitive person. I don't even like to compete, but when I compete, when I put my idea, my thoughts into something, I want to get it done, and I want to be successful in everything that I do because I have been successful in everything that I don't really think about the failure. But what I will say is failure sets you up for winning. You know what I mean? Like if you lose, you know what you need to do to come back harder, to come back stronger, right? But I'm learning within myself, like, hey, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to fail. It's okay to fall down. You just got to get up more times than you have fallen. It's okay. You got to keep on going, keep on pushing, period. Things happen, right? Things that we can't anticipate happen. We make mistakes, right? So it's all tied in there together. The next one, I think this is number 5. Comparison is poison, or comparison is the thief of joy, especially in this social media age. I feel like we spend so much time on social media, and it's easy, like as I'm getting older, seeing people that I went to high school with, seeing people that I went to college with, and seeing where they are in their lives, and you get to comparing yourself like, oh, maybe there's something that I didn't do. Maybe there's something, you know, missing or lacking within myself. Like, why aren't the opportunities and the doors being open for me? Like, what am I not doing? You know what I mean? I wish I could have that. I wish I didn't have to go to work every day. I wish I was on a yacht too. You know what I mean? And so you just like, why don't my body look like that? You know, why don't, you know, just all of these different comparisons, because when you're on social media, you get the highlight reels of people's lives. You don't get the real deal, holy feel. You don't get all of that. You know what I mean? So you start comparing yourself like, you know, where am I? Like, what am I doing? Like, I need to get something together. You know what I mean? Like, and then you get back into that, I got to be productive. I got to do this. I got to do that. Like, it's so many different business ideas. Like, I can go get a vending machine, or I can go and get a Bitcoin or something like that. Like, you always feel like you have to hustle so that you can get on whatever somebody else is getting on. But another thing that I'm learning is other people's success is other people's success, right? That's number 5. Other people's success is other people's success. How other people get successful, that's how they got successful. That's not to say that you can't do what they're doing, but at the same time, what could you be doing for yourself? You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to drop what you're doing just because you're not seeing success with it right now. You might see it later. You know what I mean? And that's the other part. You know, because we always talk about manifesting and praying and different things like that. We want everything quick, instant gratification. And so it's like sometimes, again, like you're being set up for a long-term situation, like a long-term win. You know, you might lose this one little battle, but you're going to get the long-term victory at the end. So you have to be willing to go through and just play your role until it's your turn, right? Because when it's your turn, you're going to understand why you had to wait so long. You know, just you're being prepared. It's not no, it's preparation. And if it is no, it's a redirection. That's another one right there. Y'all keep count. I can't keep count. All right. The next one, it says consistency beats intensity every time. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm working on the consistency. Like, that's why I wanted to do Streamtober, because I feel like I need like something to jumpstart. I'm the type of person, like, if I stop doing something, then I stop doing something and I pick something else up. I need to stay consistent and I have to make it a part of my routine. And that was really the goal of me doing Streamtober, was because I need to make it a part of my routine. Like, I need to come home, get off from work, sit down and do a video like I did today. You know what I mean? And I just need to make it a part of the routine. Something that I'm learning, content creators, or any, professionals or whatever that they're doing, it's a part of their routine, especially like if you're working from home or like, whatever, like it's a part of their routine. Like their routine is wake up and make content. You know what I mean? And see, I've learned, cause I just had a week off, you guys. I just had a week off. And you had a week off. Where was you at? Exactly. And so it's just kind of like, I think that I need structure, because if I don't have anywhere to go, then I'm not getting dressed. You see, but if it's something that you want to do, then you have to do it regardless of whether you have to go to work or not. You see what I'm saying? And so it's hard for me to wrap my mind around that, because I've spent so much time working a traditional job. And I was just talking to somebody today, and the next one is, you never know who God put on your path. You never know. Talking to this lady, she was subbing, and she stopped in the library and we were talking about getting certified and everything like that. She started her program in 2017, the same time I started, and everything like that, and she just couldn't seem to get her stuff together. And I was just like, girl, when I first started teaching, they was not paying teachers sub teachers or whatever teacher salary. Not in the district that I was in. They was not paying you that. And they also told us, like, you are not being paid teacher salary. We are not paying you no overtime. Your time stop, right? Your time stops when that clock stops, right? So you're not staying after school. There is no comp time for you, right? If you want the teacher pay, then you do what you need to do to get your certification, period. Right. So it was easier for me to separate, and focus on one thing, because I wanted my check. Right. And so I explained, like, you can't be thinking about all this other stuff. So now, looking at it from social media, I could give her all these ideas, like all this, like, you need to do this, this, and this, and focus on this. But it's just like, for me, it's like giving myself my own advice. Like, I have to make this a part of my routine. You know what I mean? Like, I have to treat this. This is why I said YouTube is like a PhD program for me. I have to treat it like a PhD program, right? Because that's how my mind works. If this was a PhD program, your girl would be right here. I got the iPad. I got everything set up, right? But it's just like, because it's social media and I haven't fully like wrapped my mind around how social media, everything, like, I don't know, it's just a different world. You go from working a regular job to having to create content. I'm learning, and I'm learning that it's more disciplined and consistent focus, right? Like everything, but it's just like, sometimes you don't want to be on. Sometimes you don't want to be a personality. Sometimes you just want to chill, right? Like, it's my day off, And so it's like, there is no day off, right? So it's just like getting into that, but we don't want to hustle at the same time. And we have to honor the flow of up and down, because sometimes I don't have the best ideas because I'm pushing too hard. I have to go into my cave and come back out with some more ideas. So it takes me time to, like, as a creative, to come up with ideas. When I'm at work, I can't do everything the way everybody else did. That's not how my brain works. I have to sit on it, think about it, wrap my mind around it. And then when I got it. Boom. So it's just like, we're learning that. And we're also making space for that, because when you're in school, you have to be on like all the time. But that's not how my brain, like, as an adult, like, that's not how I work at all. And now, in school, you have your friends, we depended on each other. Now it's just you by yourself. And so, they would make up the difference. Now there's nobody to make up the difference. If you don't get this work done, if you don't do this, if you don't do that, then that's that's coming out of you, right? But I'm fortunate enough to work in an environment where they respect, like I have accommodations. Like I tell them, in education, I have an RTI plan. Like literally, like I can't talk. I have a whole plan. I have an itinerary. Like I cannot, I have to have the flow. I have to welcome the flow. Like sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. And when I'm up, I have to make sure that I'm getting everything done during that time, because when I'm down, I'm relaxing and there's nothing you can tell me, but just understanding that when I'm down, like I have to schedule, like maybe pre-record some stuff. And so I'm working on that, just like I came up with streaming. I don't like to edit videos. So now we're streaming. That is the whole point. So I'm learning more about myself. And that's another thing. Like you need to learn more about yourself. You need to spend time with yourself and, not comparing yourself to other people and how they do things, but how do you do things? And it's okay if you do things differently. Being okay. Also, is another thing. Add this to the list. When you're doing things differently and you're the first person to do it, you are going to be alienated. People are not going to understand you. People are going to be talking about the things that you do or the way that you do things. I remember when I was in school, I could add and subtract with the numbers sitting side by side. I didn't have to stack my numbers. Okay. I didn't have to stack my numbers like that, and the people would be telling me I'm doing it wrong and da 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 da. No, the math teacher was like, she do math different. That's okay. She can do the math different. That's all right. That's not a problem. She can do the math. If it's side by side, stacked up and down, like, hey, the math is the math, right? We got the answer and I could explain it to her. Like, it's not a big deal. But now, education is different because everybody has to learn the same way. They want them to do it the same way, or they don't even welcome the old ways of doing things. Like everybody has to do this new program, but what about the tried and true methods, right? So it's just like, we need to welcome and appreciate how we do things. Just because you do things differently, that's totally fine, totally okay. Just making space for that. Okay. All right. The next one, you become what you repeatedly do. This is also consistency, but it's just like, if you want to be a winner, then you have to consistently do what winners do, right? Winners, champions, they are going to the gym. They are going to the gym. They are, they're researching, they're doing the work, right? We oftentimes think the winning comes with just the winning, but no, like you have to do the pre-work before that. And just because somebody is a success doesn't mean that they became a success just right then. They had to do some pre-work. Right? So if you ain't did the pre-work, you're late. You're late to the party, right? So you have to do the other stuff first. You didn't fill out the application first. You got to fill out the application. You got to go through this whole process. You got to put the work in, get the F's, get all the stuff, get knocked around a couple of times. Then you become a success, right? But we're so used to seeing, when people are all glittery and all glowed up, that we don't see the hard work that goes behind what a success is actually going, The next one is keep that curiosity. Some people, once they get into their set, whatever it is, their ways, they stop seeking and stop growing and they just kind of settle into life. I never wanted to do that. And I think that's where my anxiety comes from, is like, I don't want to settle into life. I don't want to settle in and just like, this is all that there is, because I don't believe that, especially if I've seen more, I'm trying to get to the more. And I feel like there's a version of me that already exists, having had whatever it is that I want. I just have to figure out what it is that I have to do. You know what I mean? And you have to be relentless about it. You have to be spoiled. You have to be a brat when it comes to whatever it is that you're trying to be or have into your life. You know what I mean? Because if you take the McDonald's, then you're always going to get the McDonald's, right? If you want the I can't talk. These doggone, look, they gave me some new trays and they hurt like crazy. And I thought we were done. I thought we were doing refinement. But girl, I had to take them out. They hurt so bad. But anyway, my jaw be locking. Anyway, like if you want the Michelin, you have to do what you have to do for the Michelin, right? And a lot of times we want the microwave, we want the McDonald's meals, you know, but Michelin take a little bit more. Take a little more. The quality is there, right? So we have to put forth that effort. Okay, so yes, always be curious, never settle. This is the other thing I want to talk about when it comes to relationships. Don't settle in relationships, okay? Do not settle in relationships. You know, something that I would always tell my younger self, but I already knew this because I was hip to the game from a long time, okay? Because I'm going to tell you one thing about it, two things for sure. Okay, my mama and my grandma did not play. Okay, you trade up. Okay, you always trade up. That was the law. Okay, you don't come home with babies and you don't come, you know, like it was just, if you watch She-Ra 7, listen, I was watching her when she first came out. Okay, if you know, all the way from the back. And it's just like, yeah, mama didn't raise no fool, period. Okay, in relationships. You never. And so like when I see the girls, the social media and, you know, the influencers and the celebrities and the relationships that they're in and they choose to entertain, I feel so bad because we have younger girls coming up and they don't understand. They don't get it, right? They don't understand. It's not clicking for them. Like it's not clicking. It's not clicking. It's just mind control. I don't know what it is, but it's something in the milk because they just choose to entertain these men that are not, or these boys or whatever, and they're just not good for them, right? And I'm going to say this, water seeks at its own level. If you seek or like you're in a relationship, find yourself in a relationship with someone who is not treating you right, then, and you stay in that, then that means that you don't care. You don't feel worthy of the love that you feel like that's the love that you are accepting. So that's what you're going to consistently get. You know, you accept the love that you think that you deserve. Water seeks at its own level. So that means if you're in a relationship, he ain't worth nothing, then you feel like then you not worth the time. You not worth going out, getting some makeup and getting it popping. You know, you're not worth that, you know? And then the other part is something that I wish, this is stuff I already knew, but I'm going to just share because it is 32 lessons learned, because I have interacted with so many friends and different things, and we have these conversations and they're just like, you know, you're doing too much or you're asking for too much. And, you know, because I have this thing, like if I'm doing online dating, you have to go on a date within 72 hours of matching with someone, period. You have to do that. And he has to ask you to go on a date. Like y'all need to sit down at dinner and have a conversation, because there are a lot of things that you don't get like talking to somebody, like just texting and all that other stuff, right? And every little thing matters. So many, like their body language, eye contact, how they answer questions, how they communicate. These are like little things that you don't get when you're just texting and stuff like that. Like you don't get that. I need to see you in person. I need to be able to read you in person. This is why I'm so good at interviews, but it's just like, I need to see you in person. I have to do that, right? And how you ask me out tells me everything. How do you do that, right? Are you saying we're going to go to this restaurant? Are you going to go, like if you told me you lived over there, but you trying to go somewhere, like that means you trying to go to something closer to you than it is to me. So that means you prioritize your driving versus my own driving, right? So that means you're lazy. Right? So it's just like little things. If he's not asking you out within 72 hours, then that means he don't really want to talk to you like that for real. He's not really pressed. And you shouldn't be pressed either, right? He probably got a whole gang. You need to have a whole squad as well. Period. You have to have these things. Like you have to do that. And you cannot get off their neck. And you always trade up. I don't know what number we on, but you trade up every single time. The one you with, you got to get something better than that. Better, right? And I understand there are some women that feel like, oh, we can build together. I don't believe in that. Because let me tell you something. I've seen it with every single time, like with the celebrities and everything. Like when the woman is more successful than the man, he can't handle it. There's just something you read the book. I told you about the great cosmic mother, right? On the ancient level, They can't handle it from an ego standpoint. They just can't handle it there, right? From a historical standpoint, they can't handle it on an ego. They can't handle not being tippy top, right? And so when you have people like Mariah Carey and you get with a Nick Cannon and then, you know, he embarrasses you, you know what I mean? Or you can have you can be Beyonce. Jay-Z was more successful than she was, and then she outdid him, but he still, you know, dogged her out, and they're still together. You know what I mean? Like we forgive him and everything like that, but that still happened. You have Rihanna. She had a billionaire. You see what I'm saying? But you might not want to do what all the billionaire doing and everything like that. And so you get someone else. But thank God she did not marry him. You know what I mean? So, you know, because he is taking, A$AP Rocky is playing games. Listen, he's friends with Snoop. Okay. And if you know, you know, Snoop is out here big pimping, and I ain't got time for that. You don't want no man that's on that, like that level of conversation. Like that's what he talk about. You know what I mean? Snoop telling him to play his role, play his position. And you know, he do need to play his role, play his position. But like, what you mean by that? You know, like it's just all these little things. And if you're not paying attention, you know, and I feel like women, we want the love so much that we forsake our intuition. Right? Don't do that. Don't ever do that. Like if you feel it in your stomach, you feel it in your chest, you feel it everywhere. You can't eat, you can't sleep. That's not the relationship for you. That's not the friendship. That's not the interaction. That's not what you need to have around you. All right? Because when you start forsaking yourself, right? When you forsake yourself, who gonna look out for you? Who gonna look out for you? Who else? All you got is you, right? So you have to take care of yourself. And if you feel something and you can't explain it, that's why it's called women's intuition. You ain't gotta have a reason. They might call you crazy. They may call you demented. You might be off your rocker, right? But I'm gonna say the best people are, right? And you ain't feel that way for no reason. So always trust yourself. Always trust your gut instinct, period. If you feel it, there's a reason why, okay? Trust that. And I'm telling you right now, do not just be accepting all this craziness that's happening in the dating field. And the other part is what one person won't do, another person will. I know, because we have these interactions with people, and you oftentimes feel like, well, where am I going to find somebody else? You know what I mean? Where am I going to find somebody else? Who am I going to be with and everything like that? Number one, you're more than the relationships that you are in. Like you're more than that. Like you don't have to, equate your desirability or your worth or your value based off being in a relationship with somebody else. That's number one. Number two, there's always more. Okay. That's abundance mindset, right? There's always more. You can get another one. If you got one, you can get two. And if you get two, you can get to three, right? Now, when you get to three, we can get to 5 and we can go to 7 and we can start doing some Fibonacci, okay? I'm telling you right now, you don't have to rely on just one, okay? You always trade up and you always just get another one. The quickest way to get over one is to get another one. But the other part though, learn to spend time by yourself, right? Learn to spend time by yourself and really figure out what it is that you like and what you want to welcome into your life, because when you've been alone for so long, you're just not going to put up with nothing, not going for nothing, not taking nothing, not nothing, just nothing. Not gonna be able to do it. And you can see it from a mile away. You can't give them an inch because you ain't have an inch to give. You ain't gonna never make it to the mile. You're not. We're not taking no prisoners. We're not. You need to be on the program. Nobody is bigger than the program. Nobody's bigger than the program. Nobody is bigger than what we got going on. Nobody is bigger than our goals and our ambitions. Nobody's bigger than that. And he ain't finna come over here and switch us up and get us on his program. No. You're on my program. You're on my time. Okay? Period. And then you the prize. Add that to the list. You are the prize. You are the prize. He needs to be trying to impress you. He needs to be trying to get off, into your world. Eartha Kitt said, I'm not looking for a man. If you want to come over and share my life with me, then that's fine. But we're not actively seeking that. You know what I mean? Like, this is my life. I'm having create a full life for yourself. So that means you need to get you some hobbies, right? Do things by yourself, or maybe join a friend group if you are not feeling doing things by yourself, but really getting to know yourself. What really makes you happy outside of someone else? Because I'm not going to lie, all of the older women that I've been speaking with are all like, don't rush it. You know what I mean? They don't rush it. It ain't what it's all cracked up to be. And studies have shown that women live longer than men, right? And men need women. Okay, that's what all the studies are saying. Like, the men, as they get older, they really need a woman to really get them going. So it's just keep that in your pocket. I felt that in my spirit. I felt that. Okay, the next one. Let me see what it said. Boundaries. Boundaries are a form of self-respect. Okay. Here's the thing. At work, it's a little harder to enact those boundaries because it's your job, it's your livelihood. But here's the thing. If you get one job, you can get another. You have to have a healthy work-life balance when you are working. You have to have those boundaries. We're not taking work home. We're not discussing work, off time of the work. Like, if I'm not at work and we're not clocked in, it's my day off or whatever, we're not talking about work. We have to separate work from our lives. Like, some people, their job is their life. Okay? And I'm going to just be honest. I'm going to just be completely honest with you. I have never wanted to have a job. I have never, I wanted to be on the radio, but that's it. I wanted to be on America's Next Top Models, and that's it. I wasn't really trying to work like that for real. I wasn't trying to clock in and be typing on the computer all day. Today was our first day after being at home for a week. And I told them, y'all know me, okay? You know me well enough to know my eyes are hurting. I haven't looked at a computer all week like that for real. I haven't done all of that, okay? I don't believe that we should be spending so much time on the computer. I don't think that that's what God wanted us to do. I don't think that he wanted me to be waking up so early, right? And clocking in and clocking out and listening to people tell me what to do and how to do it and send emails. And I just don't think that that's what he wanted me to do. Right? But since I'm up here, I'm going to do what I got to do, right? Until I ain't got to do it no more. But this not for me. Okay. I'm doing the best I can with what I have. I'm giving you the best I got. Okay. That's it. That's all. Right. And so if I could talk to my younger self, because my younger self would have never thought or even dreamed that we would be in this particular position or whatever. At the time, I thought that everybody was hating on me because I had big dreams, big goals, and different things like that. And now that I'm older, I feel like, my family never wanted me to be a struggling artist. They never wanted me to do that. They wanted me to, because I feel like because they didn't have, coming from Mississippi, they know what it feels like to not have. And so they would never wish not having on anybody, right? And so they're always willing to say, hey, this is how you can do 111. You know what I mean? We're going to lead you to this, and you can find your own way on the outskirts of it. But we just want to get you your baseline. You know what I mean? And I wish that I digested it a little bit better when I was younger. I digested it when I got older because I understood it. But it's just kind of I think I wouldn't have had so much resentment, because they're not just saying this, because they don't want me to go out and follow my dreams and everything like that. They want to make sure that I'm not homeless. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that it's money or anything. They just want to make sure that they're just trying to make sure that I'm good. You know what I mean? And from being good financially, you can do your self-actualization. You can have these existential moments. You know what I mean? It's a byproduct. Once you have your core needs, your base, your root chakra together, right? You have your water, your health. Your health, your shelter, food, once you have those things, then you can move up and you can start thinking about higher order things, you know. Now, some people, you know, they can be successful and they don't have anything, like a rags to riches moment. But when you're doing rags to riches, especially like when manifesting or just doing like, you know, like maybe musicians and different things of that nature, you're more likely to take a bad deal, right? You're more likely to make a bad deal or a bad decision because you need to. You have to. It's not it's like you're coerced into making these choices, not from your own volition. Like some of these artists, like these musicians and different things like that, they would have never took that if they already had something to fall back on. But at the same time, they're hungrier and they want, you know, it pushes you like rent is due. So they're going to rap on the track like rent is due, period. But at the same time, it's a double-edged sword. But I just feel like, you know, if you have what you need, then you don't have to hustle as hard. But Beyonce came from a middle class family, and she still hustles and different things of that nature. But it's just kind of like she trying to prove herself, right? I got to prove myself. I got to put it down, you know, but it's just like you're more likely to make a bad choice when you feel like you have to make you know, so that you can get out of the situation that you're in. But then you leave one bad situation and then you go to another bad situation, you know? So it's just like you taking medicine for one thing and then you break something else. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But if I could tell my younger self, it's just like, you know, there's nothing wrong with working a 9-to-5. There's nothing wrong with having stability, you know, especially like when you're growing up and you're used to instability, right? There's nothing wrong with feeling safe. There's nothing wrong with having that. But at the same time, just don't get complacent. And that's the balance that I'm trying to find now. It's like, yes, I am working a 9-to-5 and it is giving me, you know, the consistency, is giving me the stability, it's giving me all of that. But it's like, where do I find the creative freedom? Where do I find the inspiration, the creativity to do the different things that I want to do? We have the money to do what we want to do, but it's just like staying consistent. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But it's like finding that balance between being an adult and doing the things I said that I wanted to do, period. Anyway, next one. The next one, this one is still in relationships. Hold on. Something popped up. Okay. The next one, you can't fix people. This is something I'm learning. It's not just relationships. It's every interaction. Right? Like I told you earlier in the video that I was talking with someone that, you know, wanted to be in education. She seems like she wanted to do her thing, but I have interacted with other people, just talking with them, and they are happy with their lot in life. You know what I mean? And it's not your job to fix them. And then also, even if you tried to help them, everybody's not going to get it. Everybody's not going to win. You know, and I think that hurts my feelings because I want everybody to win. I want everybody to be successful. I want everybody to have and to believe in themselves and have that abundance and different things of that nature. If I'm able to do something, then you are able to do something because we are all expressions of the same being. But the thing is, everybody don't want to be successful. Some people are their problems. Like their problems is their identity. And if you took those problems away, who would they be? How would they express themselves? They have nothing else to talk about. They have nothing else going for them other than these problems. And then also some people, they like it. They love their problems. They love the saga. They love the drama. They love it all. Listen, I like peace. I like positivity. That couch, best friends. That's it. That's all I'm trying to do. But some people, they need a little rough. They like to tumble, like, you know, and I'm not trying to do that, you know? And so I'm learning that you can't fix everybody. You can't fix everything, you know? And then if you're always the fixer, what are they doing? You know, like if you're in a relationship, you're in a, you know, interaction or whatever the case may be, and you're always the one fixing stuff. You're always the one to say, I'm sorry first, even though that you didn't do nothing wrong. Because what did they do? And so now you become a pushover because they don't respect your boundaries. They don't respect your opinion. They don't respect you as a person, right? To do the right thing. So you're playing along to get along. No. Other thing is say forgive others, not for them, but for you. Listen to me. I be holding grudges. Sometimes you need to hold a grudge because people be playing in your face. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. People be playing in your face. They be trying to see how much they can get away with. And I'm going to give you a couple of chances. I'm going to give you one chance because I'm just getting to know you, right? I'm going to give you two because now I need to know how you play checkers and chess. Are you playing checkers or are you playing chess? I don't know. And so now I got to give you a third reason, right? Third, now I know. Because I'm watching you intensely. I am watching you intensely. I am checking if I'm looking at your breathing patterns, how you do stuff, how you interact with other people. Once you make it to the third notch with me, it's over. It's done, period. And there ain't no coming back from that. I'm so sorry. Like, you might as well not exist. It's called Mariah Carey said, I don't know her. Basically, we never met. It never happened. That's it. That's all. Also, if you're in a bad relationship and y'all break up, you broke up with him, girl. You broke up with him. Every single time you broke up with him. That relationship never happened. It never happened. Straight up delusional. Okay, Mariah, she said it's Eminem, I'm Godiva. I don't know what you're talking about. Never happened. Never met. That's what you have to do. You have to be delulu. Because the thing is, you think that your problems are so huge, but they're really minute compared to everything else. Like, your problems are just a minute thing. And a lot of times we think that, this is the worst thing that ever happened to us in our lives and different things like that. But to somebody else, it's just another Tuesday. Like, my birthday gonna be this week, but for you, it's just another Wednesday. It's just another day of the week. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. So you have to reframe the bad things that happen to you. Is it okay to hold space when bad things happen? Yes. You know what I mean? But don't stay in that. Don't wallow in that and don't make that your identity. Okay? You pick yourself up. That stuff did not happen. If nobody else said it, then it didn't happen. Oh, well, period. You get to control the narrative behind your story. I'm going to give you an example. We still talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z in the elevator, but we still don't know what the reason was because they never came out and told us. And I feel like that is something that's missing, right? In the new celebrities. They tell us everything. We never get to miss or to wander. We never get to create any lore, any legends. We never create that because they have already spilled the tea. Sometimes we need to just sip. You understand what I'm saying? Leave something to the imagination. We're probably not going to get that till at the end. At the end, right? You have to build it up. Build it up. Everybody don't need to know your business. Next thing. Quality over quantity. When we're younger, we oftentimes think that people are more successful or they have more motion if they have more people around them, right? And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of times those are the most loneliest people, most insecure, all of that. Not saying all the time, but most of the time it is because they have to compensate for the fact that they are empty on the inside, so they have to be loud. They have to, announce themselves before they enter. They have to do all of that jazzercise. They have to do all that, just spear fingers. They have to do that because they have to compensate for the fact that they're really, they really ain't got it like that. We're not throwing shade, but it's just kind of like, you start feeling insecure because I'm not loud like that. I'm not like this. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned that, there's a more confident air in being silent. You know what I mean? Like being silent, not speaking so much. People like, Beyonce used to do a lot of interviews and then she stopped. Then people started wondering what's going on, right? But then when she started acting, like, hold up, something's going on. Or maybe like Lori Harvey. In the beginning, she wasn't talking like that. Even now, she still don't talk like that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you start talking, you all that we understand. We get it now. You know, you ain't all up there and up. It's not too much clicking up there. So it's just like being silent is actually to like be more confident. You know what I mean? Sorry if I'm not making sense, but being quiet will give you that confidence aura that you're looking for, as opposed to talking and, you know, just being loud and everything like that, you know. And then the quality over quantity, I'm not going to lie, I used to be irritated because I was the friend that people always wanted to hang out with, you know, behind closed doors. Like if we were hanging out, they would invite other people. And so it made me feel like I wasn't a quality friend, but you're telling me your whole life. You know what I mean? You're telling me your entire life. And then the other thing is, you know, you're hanging around people that you don't actually like, you know? So you bringing me out and you told me about this and that person, because I'm not really hanging out with these people. I don't even know these people like that for real. Or do I? I don't know these people, but I know their whole life. You know what I mean? And so, you know, it's very awkward to be around or be put in positions where, you know, the people, they don't like these people, but they hang out with these people because they want to be included, right? But I don't care about being included, and I don't care about the fluff, and I don't care about all the airs that you have to put on to be around other people. I don't like making compromises. Like if I want to do something, I want to do it. So I don't like, you know, the group thing. Like we go out and we all got to figure out what we're going to do for the group. You see what I'm saying? Y'all don't eat what I eat. You know, you on a budget, I'm not. You see what I'm saying? So it's just kind of like, I don't like all of that. You know, I don't like that we got to split the bill. I don't like doing mathematics, trying to figure out how this thing, I don't like that. I don't like all the equations. I don't like all this. I just don't like, and I don't like the politics. I just want to live. I'm just trying to catch a vibe. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's hard to do that. So I would rather spend time by myself. I'd rather be by myself. And that, you know, being by yourself, people feel like you think you better than other people or you antisocial and everything like that. I am, but it's just kind of like, it takes a lot to be around other people, you know, especially people who have never been by themselves. So they're looking to like suck energy from you because they haven't done the work on themselves to like, you know what I mean? Like you have a conversation with somebody like, oh yeah, I feel the same way. I feel the same way. And you know what I mean? Or they talk over you or they don't really have anything to talk about or whatever. Like it's nothing of substance. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Y'all listen, I don't want to do that. I don't. And I've learned that it's okay for me to be by myself. It's okay for me to say no. I don't have to go to the events. If I don't want to go to a club, I don't have to go to a club because I don't have to go, period. If I don't want to go to a family, now this is, let me tell you, if I don't want to go to a family thing, I don't have to go to a family thing. I'm grown. Bills. You feel me? So it's just kind of like maintaining those boundaries. If I don't want to talk about something, I don't have to talk about it. If I don't want to tell you, I don't have to tell you. Those are the boundaries. That's the T, period. There is none. Moving on. Another thing, I don't know what number we on, but I'm going to stop it when we get to an hour. And if I got to do another one, I'm going to do another one. Okay. Listen, gratitude. Okay. Gratitude will carry you so far, being grateful. Because somebody always want what you have. Like you might not think that you have much. You might not think that you have, everything on social media and everything. You might not feel like life is going as good as you want it to go for you. But I'm telling you, somebody always wish that they could be in your position or you could be in a worse position. So you just have to be grateful. You have to be thankful. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be taking pennies and taking breadcrumbs. You know, I'm so grateful that I got a man. No, I'm saying be grateful for breathing because you could have not been. You see what I'm saying? Be grateful for being alive. Be grateful for having the opportunities to do whatever it is that you're doing. You know, be grateful that you have the job, but do not accept stuff because they feel like you should be grateful. Now, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Keep it respectful. But it's just like, you know, somebody always wish that they could be in the position that you're in, you know, and you have something that they want. So it's just like, be grateful for that. It's still an opportunity. Every day you get to wake up and do something that you're doing, you know, like that is a wonderful, like you are impacting somebody by being up every day. Like those little interactions, talking to people, getting coffee, just the little small things, they really do matter. And you should be grateful for that. The sun shining, you know what I mean? Like the birds chirping, like all of these little things. And like take time to really take a breather. I feel like we're so busy. We never take that time to, sit in silence and just meditate and, be one with the universe, pray, talk to God and everything like that, because we're so busy. I was just, thinking this morning, it's like, we used to pray a lot. We used to do all of these things, but when we're so busy, we got to think about this and that. And so it's easy for us to think that our problems are bigger than the program. You see what I'm saying? But when you zoom it out and you start looking at the universe, and you just see that this is just a little speck, not even a speck. You can't even see, when you're looking at the universe, you can't see yourself. You see the galaxy. You see what I'm saying? So nothing is bigger than that. So if you believe in God, if you believe in the universe or whatever the case may be, then you know that there's something always larger than whatever it is that you're going through, right? And if you feel like the sun gonna come up tomorrow, period, every single time. And, even if the sun don't come out and it rain, the rain helps you to appreciate the sunshine, but also things grow with the water. We need those cycles, right? We need that water cycle that we learn in school, because it provides that nourishment that we need. And sometimes, pain is a part of the process. Nobody wants to hear that. We want everything, especially myself, I want everything to be sunshine. I want everything to be sunshine. I want everything to just be happiness all the time. And so when things are not happy, when I am not happy, or when I'm feeling like I'm falling flat or whatever, I get upset. But it's just like, it's a part of the process. You're learning something. How can we come back stronger than we ever came before? Like, what can we do? Period. Okay. Anyway, let me see. Happiness is your job. You know what I mean? That's your job. You supposed to be worried about how you gonna be happy. It's nobody else's job to determine whether or not you're going to be happy. Okay? It's nobody else's job. It's nobody else's responsibility. Your happiness is your job. Okay? Now, if you're not happy because you're doing what other people want you to do, you're being a people pleaser, that is your fault. And you got to figure out how you're going to get out of that. And sometimes we have to make the sacrifice of getting rid of people so that we can have our own happiness and our own peace. We have to step out on faith, and we have to do things that we would have never thought we would do so that we can find whatever we feel like we need for the happiness. But the happiness is your job. Because the relationship is not going to make you happy. It's not. It's not going to make you happy. The relationship, it's not the money. And all the money is not the best money. It's not. Because here's the thing. If you think that this one opportunity is going to be the end all, be all, right? End all, be all for your money, then you've already lost. Because who made the money? Who made the money? Who made the opportunity? And if you know that someone made that opportunity, somebody makes the money, right? It has a flow and it's all under the design of somebody, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, are you worshiping the job? Are you worshiping, you know what I'm saying? Because if you got this one, you can get another one. Period. That's what I believe. So you know, it's if you get one relationship, you can get another relationship. Yes. We're at 52 minutes, y'all. We're going to do a part two. We're going to do that tomorrow. The thing is, I have a meeting tomorrow. I know. I have a meeting tomorrow. It's like one of them after school meetings or whatever for these committees and stuff. And, I don't. We just got through talking about that. But I am going to do a part two. This is probably going to be a long thing. I don't know how many we did. I don't know. I'm accounting when I watch the video back. But we're going to do a part two because we're already at 53 minutes, you guys. I was having fun. I was clocking the tea. And then the thing is, I was looking at my list. I feel like I was on number 20. And so I was like, dang. We didn't make it to 32. We're going to do a part 2. We're going to do a part 2, a special, because I'm turning 32 this week. And so I just want to share my knowledge or whatever. So if you like this video, go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to check this chat. I don't know. Yeah, okay. We will see you in the next video, okay?